All right, man, peace. You know, brothers, over the course of our lives, if we pay very close attention, we'll find out that people give us clues and signs pertaining to what they plan on doing. And if we pay very close attention, we won't be caught off guard. Sometimes we're in the workplace and your homeboy over the last 2 weeks, he don't seem to give a shit if he gets his work done. You say to yourself, man, this dude must be leaving. Or maybe you yourself, you're in a relationship with a female and you just don't feel compelled to do the things for her that you used to do because you don't like her attitude anymore. That's you contemplating in your mind and prepping yourself to leave. Well, Golden State seems to believe that they're seeing some of those same signs in Kevin Durant. Is he on his way out? According to them, he has 1 foot out the door. So they're going to talk about it. I'm going to chime in.
Everyone and their mama wants to know what Kevin Durant will be doing this summer during free agency, but Warriors fans might want to prepare for life without KD. Chris Haynes of Yahoo Sports wrote there are members of the organization that believe Durant's behavior is a sign that he already has 1 foot out the door. Haynes added there are others who aren't reading too much into that. They consider it to be just standard turbulence of a long 82-game season.
Hey, brothers, just in general, if you're with somebody and they're constantly showing you that they're ready to leave, don't grab on tighter. Just let them have a nice day. Because the tighter you grab on, the stronger they're going to pull away. In the case of the Warriors and Kevin Durant, what the Warriors need to do is what they've been doing. Make sure that they show him that they have his back. It's very, very, very important for both parties involved. Because Kevin Durant is someone who, once again, we have to remember, he grew up without a father. So a lot of times you'll see certain personality traits in people such as that, where they feel like someone is not going to be there for them when they're needed, or that the framework of security that they would expect in an orderly environment is not going to show up, because many of those brothers are so used to being raised in chaos that that's just what they accept as common nature or commonplace, i.e. LeBron James.
David, are you buying this about KD?
I'm buying it, number one, because Chris Haynes is reporting it, and that's my man, and he did a great job for ESPN. I wish he was still here, and I wish him nothing but the best with what he's doing now and in the future. That's my man, first of all, and he knows what he's talking about when it comes to these Warriors. That's number one.
That was your Black History Month moment from Stephen A. Smith.
Number two, I think that it has credence because I don't think Kevin Durant definitively knows what he's going to do.
Of course he doesn't. Right now, KD is just weighing his options. That's what he's supposed to be doing. What Golden State has going for them is that he knows that as long as he's there, he's going to have a realistic chance to win a championship. Number two, they can pay him the most money. Now, according to him, he wants to sign back with the team that can give him the most money. So that means that he's Golden State's to lose.
I think he has an idea of what he wants to do. I think the scuttlebutt about him departing from Golden State is legit because I definitely think he plans on leaving. But I want to emphasize,
I think that he plans on planning on leaving. I don't think that KD really knows what the hell he wants to do. He's like someone who wants to make his current significant other believe that he has options, even though he knows where his bread is buttered. I still, and I've said this numerous times, I have no idea why KD would want to leave Golden State. They literally provide him with everything that he could possibly want or need, starting from security to giving him all the options that he might require for the business world, so on and so forth. So why would he want to go anywhere else other than to satiate many of his naysayers in the media? But to hell with them. The key to happiness in life is tuning out the irrelevant people and the unnecessary input from the outside world. Who gives a shit?
Besides two things. The Golden State Warriors as an organization do not plan on losing him. Number one.
Nor should they.
And number two, Kevin Durant is the kind of dude that changes his mind. He is the kind of dude that'll sit up there in March and be like, I'm out. And June comes around like, I ain't going no damn place. I've had a change of heart. That's how he is. You know, he's a really good guy.
KD's pushing 31. He needs to figure out what he wants to do when it comes to the team that he's going to sign with, because he's the type of guy, once again, try to go sign with the Knicks and be miserable a year from now.
He's emotional at times. We get all of that. But in the same breath, he's a guy, like you talk about, just wanting to play basketball, wanting to be happy. Why do I break it down like that, Max? Because, again, the noise about New York was legit. I'm not saying KD directly did it, but people close to him certainly gave the Knicks an indication that he would be willing to come to New York.
Of course. Dudes do that with their side chick all the time. Make them think that they have an opportunity to become the main chick. It don't mean it's going to happen.
Make no mistake about that. There were folks saying something to the New York Knicks, not him directly, but those close to him that gave that indication. Here's the flip side.
That's on purpose. They did all that on purpose. KD's team went to the Knicks to make them think that he wants to sign there because they know, once again, the Knicks are that side chick who knows in their heart that they don't have what it takes to be the main woman or the wife material woman. But they still allow themselves to be fed the delusion that one day they're going to be the main person or the main woman. So they get all excited. And that means that they're going to go to the media and say, KD's coming here, he's coming here. And what that does is that puts Golden State on notice. Make sure that you fly right. Make sure that you come correct when the time comes. And over the course of the remainder of this season, don't let none of these other dudes here in the locker room fuck with me at all. That's what that means. That's insurance. When KD's team floated all those rumors out there to the Knicks, that was insurance that they were hoping would get back to Golden State to let them know that KD has options.
Say what, Max?
I said the Knicks thought they were getting Durant.
And don't get it twisted, of course. They already knew that he had options. It's just that sometimes people don't think that you're going to utilize those options.
Here's where it's interesting. You start hearing him complaining about the media and how he just wants to play basketball. It don't get much worse than New York.
That's my point.
In a lot of players' eyes. And so because of that, I had one person say this to me. They literally said, and they weren't trying to say it to disrespect Kevin Durant in any way. They were just teasing him for being emotional sometimes because they know he's a really good guy. They said Kevin Durant is the type of person that'll sit up there and he's determined to leave and show up to sign the damn contract and be like, I just can't do this. I just can't do this.
KD be all ready to sign a contract with the Knicks and then look at his phone. It'll be a group text from Steph Curry, Draymond Green, Klay Thompson saying, we love you, KD. He said, I can't sign this shit. Rip it up. I'm going back to Golden State.
And if there was ever a franchise that something like that could happen to, Max, it's the Knicks. So again, that's truth in Chris Haynes' report because he does have one foot out of the door, but not both, which means he could stay or go elsewhere. We just don't know.
I will refer again to that Jason O'Gilbert tweet that I referred to when the Knicks originally traded Porzingis. With the money they save under the cap, Dolan can afford to get 2, maybe 3 PR people to explain why they didn't get Kevin Durant. Knicks thought they were getting KD. All right, anyway, look.
Not over yet. It's not over yet, Max. I hold out hope. Steve Mills, Scott Perry, I hold out hope.
I told you. Wait, when that went down, I told you just got rid of Porzingis. Don't let Jimmy Butler be the number one dude you get. If Jimmy...
Look, at one point over the course of this current regular season, I was hoping that the Knicks would have the opportunity to acquire Kyrie Irving as well as Kevin Durant, just to bring some juice back to the city basketball-wise. But from what I've seen recently from the both of them, I would not even want them in New York because they would both be so unhappy. It would show in the play of the team. And then you'll have a very bad basketball team as well as 2 very unhappy NBA superstars who could be far more productive elsewhere.
Jimmy Butler's the best guy they get. Oh, I'm going to have a field day. All right, listen. Here's the thing about KD, Stephen A. I don't know where KD is going to end up. I don't know that he knows where he's going to end up. I wouldn't pretend to know those things. I do think that this is a critical stage in the history of the Golden State Warriors.
I agree with that.
Because as much as I pointed out that their performance barely falls off when it's just Steph and no one else, then Steph is the real engine of that team, KD put him over the top. You know, the Warriors were most years the best team in basketball, but maybe sometimes couldn't get it all the way done. And then KD showed up, and it was like, okay, this is over.
Max is talking like the Warriors were playing at a certain level for 7 or 8 years, and they just couldn't get over the hump, and then they got KD, and they became dominant. No, they were already a dominant team, and then when they got KD, he made them relatively unbeatable for a 1 or 2 year span. But I think that as we watch their team now, what has become abundantly obvious, at least to me, is that KD is no longer extra. He's a necessity. And DeMarcus Cousins is a necessity as well, at least offensively, as long as they position him correctly. As of right now, when I watch DeMarcus Cousins play, I think that he takes way too many three-point shots. He needs to get his ass down low, shoot those jump hooks, shoot those mid-range jumpers, and keep it at that. I don't need to see DeMarcus Cousins trying to stretch the floor from three-point range. They don't need that from him.
And by the way, I've said, if it was Paul George who showed up, same thing, it had been over. If it was Kawhi, same thing, it would have been over. And so I think KD gets a little too much credit for that team. But...
Well, no, KD doesn't get too much credit. Because KD's presence on that 2017 Warriors team is what made them a championship squad. Because had he not come there, the Cleveland Cavaliers would have had a psychological advantage and a very, very strong hold over the Golden State Warriors for coming back from down 3-1 the previous year.
If he goes, and they don't have a replacement, meaning an elite two-way wing.
Well, come on. You're not going to find an elite two-way wing who's going to replace Kevin Durant. What you would hope for is a viable option that you could sign in free agency who could approximate somewhere around what KD brings. So you expect KD to bring 27, 7 and 6, shoot 51, 52% from the field, around 90% from the free throw line, around 40% from three. If you were able to sign a Tobias Harris and he brings you 20.5 points per game, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, and he shoots somewhere around 50%, say 83, 84% from the free throw line, around 40% from three, that's good enough. That's about as much as you could expect. I mean, assuming that you're not able to bring in Kawhi Leonard. And I'm not quite sure that Kawhi would fit in as well with Golden State as KD does right now or as Tobias Harris would, because Kawhi is not as much of a catch-and-shoot player as he is a dribble, break-you-down type.
Who can shoot. And those guys...
But I will say this. Kawhi can catch and shoot very well. I'm just not sure if he would want to be restricted in that way in the Golden State offense.
Those guys aren't growing on trees. The era of the Golden State Warriors just steamrolling everyone will be over.
I think it already is over.
And that's a good thing for basketball. I think the Warriors will still be formidable. But the way they've ruined the NBA recently in your eyes, Stephen A., I think that's over. And I don't know how you replace...
I'm already on record as saying that I would not be surprised if the Warriors had at least 2 7-game series in the playoffs. If they steamroll through the playoffs again this year, I will have to admit that I was incorrect. But I could easily see them. I'm not saying that it is going to happen, but I could easily see them having at least 2 6 to 7 game series in the playoffs.
Place KD if you're not getting Kawhi because PG-13 is gone. So what do you do now? It's not so easy. It's like, they'll figure out a way to replace KD. Oh, I don't know about that. This is a huge deal.
All right, well,
I would mark Tobias Harris to be acquired by Golden State should they lose KD. That's what I see happening. But you never know. Golden State might shock everybody and put forth some type of major trade for Anthony Davis. Who the hell knows? But anyway, we'll see what happens with KD in the offseason. Peace.